Notion Forms is one of the biggest updates of the recent Notion features that were announced. Before, you had to use third-party tools like Tally or Typeform to embed forms into Notion, and it wasn't a completely seamless experience. With the new Notion Forms, you can basically use the form responses just the way that databases work inside of Notion, which makes it super useful. In this video, I wanted to show a deep dive on how to use Notion Forms and utilize all of its features. If you find this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Let's first go over how to add a form inside of Notion. So if you go to the bottom, you'll see form here. You can click this, or you can type /form to create a new form from scratch. It's going to create an inline form like this. But if you were to delete this and create form here, it's going to create it similar to a database. Once you have created your form, you can go ahead and title the form. So in this case, let's go ahead and create something that you might use if someone is submitting feedback on your templates, for example. So let's call this feedback form for templates. And then you can add a description, and you can also customize the form by adding a form icon. So we could do something like this. You can also add a form cover, change cover. You can use Unsplash just like other databases and pages. So let's go ahead and look for something for productivity. And then you can also go to the three dots here and then go to customize form, and you can change the button colors. So if you wanted yellow, the submit button is going to be yellow. You can add a custom text. Let me know your thoughts. And you can also add confirmation titles and confirmation bodies. So something like this you could customize. Next, let's go over the different question types. So inside of Notion Forms, currently if we click the three dots here and then go to question types, there's text, multiple choice, date, person, files and media, number, checkbox, email, URL, and phone. So all of these are options you can use in order to add questions to your form. And one really important thing is that one of the types, if you click the three dots here, the first question defaults to be title, and a title can only be assigned to one question, as that's what's going to be the title when you get responses here. So you can see here question 1 and question 1. But let's say that you actually want the title to be question 2. You can actually change this to text, and you can change this one to be text. And then now what you can do is to change this one to title, and question 2 is going to be the title. So you can see question 2 here. The next thing is that depending on the type of question you choose, the question type, there are several things inside of the question options. You can set it to be required. You can add descriptions. You can also choose long answer if it's a text type. And you can view the linked property. So that means that what is this property linked to in the responses database? And you can see that this is linked to question 1. And you can also choose not to sync it with the property name. So what this means is that if we turn this off, if you change this to question test, it's not going to be reflected in the response title here. So if we go back and we toggle it back on, so if we toggle this on and then go back to responses, it's going to reflect that here. So this is very optional. So if you want different titles in your response database here, as opposed to the different question names, then you can do something like that. A few other things is that if you choose something like multiple choice, you can set max selection and things like that. So various different question types do have slightly different question options, so be sure to check that out. So the next thing I wanted to cover is using the responses as a database. So if we go back to our responses here, you can actually use this as a linked view database, so you can manipulate the data and use it basically the same as you would a normal Notion database. So just so that it's easy to find, let's go ahead and type test here so we can find it. So let's say that you have a dashboard here and you just want to be able to quickly see your responses at a glance. You can go ahead and type /linked view of database, and then you can find the new form and then show only the responses like this. So this is a really useful way to kind of use your response database in various different parts of your Notion. Some other things that you can do similar to databases is that you can click the plus sign here and basically see things in different views. So if you wanted to see this in a chart, you can also do that as well. So there's a lot you can do with this, and it's really cool how it works just the way a database does inside of Notion when you get responses. The next really powerful feature is that you can use automations inside of forms. So if we click this lightning bolt here, you can add a new trigger that when a page is added, for example, a new submission has been made, then you can add a new action to, for example, send emails and send notification and things like that. So that's a very powerful feature. So again, this automation works exactly the same as it would in any other Notion database. So that's very, very exciting as well. And then I wanted to show the different share settings inside of these Notion forms. So if you click share form, you can basically copy this link and share it to anyone you want to answer this form. And you can choose who can fill out, anyone at the organized notebook with link, or you can do anyone on the web with link, public, or no access. So, and here it says that workspace members with the link will be able to view and submit. So if it's an internal form, you can use this one. If it's public, you can click public and it's going to automatically record anonymous responses. If you do this one, it's going to actually record the person who filled it out. So those are kind of the different use cases. Let's go ahead and try out anyone on the web with the link, and then we can copy the link to the form. So now we can go here and then we can see the form available and we can choose something like this, let me know your thoughts, and then we can submit it. And now if we go to the responses, there should be one response here like this. And then a few other things that you can do with the sharing is actually that you can also embed it. So if we click the share form, copy the link, and then let's say that you have a dashboard where you want a copy of this form available to everyone, you can simply paste in the link and then embed the form, and it looks really great like this and works seamlessly. You can answer and submit things directly inside. So finally, let's talk about a few things that Notion Forms is still missing that hopefully they will add into the future. But basically, it's not possible to add conditional logic to your form. So that is one sort of limitation with the Notion Forms. So you can see the question types are like this, and then there's no other option to have any kind of conditional elements to it so that you can guide the person who fills out the form to different questions based on their answers. The other thing is that the customization options are a little bit limited. For example, in the confirmation page, you basically only have this to work with. So if you wanted to add more typically to your confirmation page, then this could be a little bit limiting. And on top of that, there are limitations on the design of the form. So you basically have to follow the structure, but that's kind of in Notion's aesthetic. So in that sense, they probably won't change too much in terms of the look of the form, but hopefully they will add the conditional logic and some more customizations into the confirmation page. But in general, it seems like Notion is working really hard to eliminate third-party apps so that you can have a really seamless experience using only Notion. Thank you so much for watching. How are you finding the new Notion form so far? Feel free to let me know below if you have any questions or comments, and hope to see you all in the next video.